Oh! 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 No! Oh, Kumas! No, no, no! Cliffhanger! I lost! Ah! Hey guys, how's it going? Too Lazy for Life here, back at you again with another episode of Unlimited Blade Works. This is it, the final episode of the series, episode 25. What an amazing journey it has been, guys. Oh my god, it feels like just yesterday I started this series, and here we are. We're on the final episode. And yeah, I'm gonna miss it, guys. This series has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna be very, very sad when this episode ends. I don't want to see it go. But hey, I get to move on to Heaven's Feel after this. So I mean that's something, right? But I hate it every time I get to the end of an amazing masterpiece of a series. The ride has been such a pleasure to go on, such a joy to experience, and then you get to the final episode and everything wraps up and comes to an end and comes to a close one last time, and everyone says farewell. The series waves goodbye and says farewell to you one last time, and then the end credits roll. It's such a bittersweet feeling. It's such a melancholic feeling, a melancholic feeling. It's such a melancholy feeling. It is what it is. So yeah, last episode, guys. I'm not going to go into details too much because I don't want this pre-show to last, you know, like 30 minutes long before we actually get onto the episode itself. But just know that last episode was an absolute hype fest. Everything that I wanted that episode to be, it fulfilled all my wildest dreams. The climactic ending to the Holy Grail War. EMIYA Shiro versus Gilgamesh, the king of heroes. That fight, man, was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my entire life. And I replayed that fight scene like 5 times over after I was done working that day. And yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Yeah, and Saber's gone. Archer somehow came back. I don't know how. Rin rescued Shinji. I'm not too happy about that, but hey, whatever. You do you, I guess. Well, we're now gonna just catch up, I guess, with Rin and Shiro's life post Holy Grail War and see what they're up to, shall we? So let's get on with it. Let's go. That day, I lost my answer and found it at the same time. Wow, Shiro's gotten pretty good at that projection magic. It's been 2 years! Oh my god, he even looks a little bit older as well. Oh! Oi! Oi! That's my country! Oi! Bruv! Oh, epilogue. And fucking Shiro is still at it with the cooking. Some things just don't change. Oh, and Rin with the new hairstyle. And even she looks a bit older. Oh, wait, so these guys are now in like what? University? Guys are now in university? Or magic school? What the heck is this? Luvia? Is that? Is that? I'm almost certain. Is that a Keno? That fucking sounds a lot like a Keno. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah, that's fucking a Keno's voice. Oh. Oh yeah, that's a Keno, alright. Oh. What the fuck is this? Oh, fucking suplexed! What the fuck? Even in an epilogue, they still got the fucking money to splash on another fucking fight scene. A fucking ufotable, man. Next level plays. Just flashing the cash everywhere. And who was that? Who the fuck was that blonde thought? Wow, so Shiro is part of the Mages Association. Oh, he projected Archer's sword. Oh damn, they're at Glastonbury. The grave of a certain king. A chance to say a proper goodbye. Oh. Don't do this to me! I don't want to fucking start crying on the final episode, man. Just the end to all things. Just wrapping everything up, bringing closure to this entire series, tying up all them loose ends. Oh, it's such a bittersweet feeling! Oh my god. Jesus Christ, that temple is ruined. Oh, we get to see Sakura. Oh my god, I can't believe I completely forgot about Sakura this entire series. Man. They sure know how to have just completely axed off Sakura this entire series. What is the meaning of this? Oh, Rin with the fucking flex on this virgin. Huh? What? Shuro is now Rin's pupil? I guess he's gonna have to call her senpai. Or sensei. Oh, that shot right there. I might have to make that the thumbnail. Oh, that fucking shot right there. Diabetes inducing. Is that? Can't be right. What? Is that Waver? That Waver? It's been, well, yeah, it's what, 10 years, 12, it's been like 12 years since Fate Zero. So, damn, my boy's balls dropped real damn hard. Fucking Waver's balls dropped real hard. Holy shit, his voice was so fucking deep. Oh my god, and that changing skyline like that. Oh. Oh my god.
少年は言った。死んでいく人を見たくない。助けられるものなら苦しむ人々すべてを助けることはできないかと。戦いは終わり、引き返す道などもはや存在しない。ただ答えは得た。後悔はある。やり直しなど何度望んだかわからない。この結末を未来永劫、エミヤは呪い続けるだろう。だがそれでも俺は間違えてなどいなかった。
Archer found his resolve once again. That's the fighting spirit. The end! Oh my god. Oh god. I was getting so fucking choked up towards the end, man. That last final moment between Rin and Shiro with that BGM playing in the background in that sunset, and when they shook hands, I was so captivated by that moment that I completely flew over my own head the thought of wanting those two to kiss. I was actually that is amazing. I can't believe this entire series, despite Rin and Shiro, loving each other, and they could, be the couple of this particular route, and me shipping them together, and somehow it just completely glazed over me, glossed over me, flew over my head any sort of, romantic relationship scenes that have gone on in this show, besides, them doing the magical crest transplant in that bedroom. Besides that, there's not been a whole lot of romance in this show, despite, Rin and Shiro being a couple. And I didn't for once think in my head, as a degenerate, kiss. You two kiss and make love. I mean, I joke about it every now and again, but I didn't seriously think of any time that those two would share an intimate moment together and share a kiss. And even in that final moment of the series, wrapping things up, they didn't kiss, and it completely didn't even occur to me. It didn't strike as weird to me when they just shook hands at the very end. And they just said, we're gonna enjoy our happily ever after together. And then it just zooms out from their window and pans across the entire skyline. And man, that skyline, when it was just slowly fading from sunset to nighttime and all the stars came out, and that soundtrack that was playing in the background, my insides were just getting ripped apart, man. Oh my god. And that last final end credit, post-credit scene of Archer just sitting there back in his wasteland in the future. It's like, hey, I know that I have a lot of regrets in life. I know that this path is gonna, that EMIYA Shiro right now in his Fate Stay Night timeline in his younger life is gonna lead me down into this path of suffering. But whatever, I've learnt from my younger self now. I've been rejuvenated. I have found my fighting spirit, my resolve back. I know that my dream was not a mistake, no matter what the outcome is for the path that you have chosen. Just like what Iskandar said in the Banquet of Kings, no matter what the path you choose has happened, in the end, you should live life with no regrets. If that's how life was to have played out for you, then just accept it and move on, okay? It is what it is. And I'm so glad Archer finally remembered that, realized why he went on this journey to begin with, and now he can continue, fighting and living out the rest of his future in suffering, but at least with some sense of content and acceptance for the reality of just where fucking younger EMIYA Shiro has put his future self in. Bruh. And yeah, let's talk about some of the things that happened in this episode before I give my final thoughts and wrap up this entire reaction series, guys, alright? So we jump 2 years forward ever since the end of the previous episode. The Holy Grail War has ended. EMIYA and Rin are now in London, the country of my people. Oi, bruv! Oi! You what, mate? You what? You're in London now? Oh, that is fucking sick, innit? Oh my god, they're in the fucking country and city of my people, and they have been accepted into the clock tower. So Shiro is now part of the Mages Association. Damn, my boy's moving up in the world. So he's now in fucking Magic High School, Magic University alongside Tosaka. And those two are gonna have, I guess, a bunch of adventures together, becoming better mages. And during that time, it seemed like this epilogue was also where Ufotable would just throw as many Easter eggs at us as they could, because we got to see fucking the guy that looked like Ryunosuke in one of the classrooms. Some guy walked past EMIYA in the hallway, which I'm guessing he had to have been someone important, because otherwise you wouldn't just mention it, right? Saying, oh, do you know that guy? You know, obviously I've seen enough anime to know that a random pointless, you know, background character, a backdrop character isn't gonna get that level of recognition. I'm sorry, all you background characters out there, but you guys aren't important. You're just part of the scenery. But to have a background character get mentioned, he must be of some importance. I don't know who that guy is. It doesn't ring any bells to me. So that's him. And then we bump into Luvia. Okay, that blonde-haired girl. I don't know who she is, but man, Rin and Luvia don't seem to get along, right? Those two seem like they really hate each other. They seem almost like rivals and have a grudge. And Luvia's voice. Oh, it sounded familiar when she just first got introduced, but it was definite by the time she started doing the ara-aras. That is fucking Akeno. I am almost certain that is fucking Akeno from High School DxD. Oh, I started feeling all gachi hyper inside and wanted to fucking coom all over the place when I fucking heard her go ara-ara. Oh, Akeno, man. She makes me fucking blow my load every single time. And yeah, Ufotable somehow still managed to have money left to spare in the bank to flex on us one last time with a Rin versus Luvia, like, fucking wrestling match. I mean, Jesus Christ, Ufotable, man, they are just leagues above any other studio that I've seen so far. Granted, I haven't seen a whole lot of studios outside of Gundam and, you know, Sword Art Online and, you know, One Punch Man. I mean, One Punch Man, Madhouse, they did some pretty sick shit with season 1, but yeah, Ufotable is still fucking up there, man. They are just so next level when it comes to their production. And this fucking Unlimited Blade Works series and Fate Zero, just absolutely phenomenal in terms of the production value and the execution. It's just been absolutely masterful. Shiro, I think he bumped into Waver, right? Can anyone confirm that to me in the comments? Did Shiro bump into Waver in the fucking hallway? Because that guy looked pretty damn old, or at least Waver's gone through some serious stress and has aged in terms of his appearance drastically compared to his actual age. But I'm pretty sure Waver was like, what, 16, 17 or something in Fate Zero, and it's been 12 years now in this epilogue, so he's like approaching 30, if not hit 30. And yeah, my boy, his balls drop hard. His balls drop all the way down to the fucking floor. He's got one hell of a deep voice now compared to his fucking squeaker voice in Fate Zero. Oh my god. So yeah, that was one hell of an Easter egg if that was truly Waver. I was hoping for him to say something that would, you know, make it seem more obvious that it was Waver, other than, you know, trying to hope that that's what he looks like in the future. That's his appearance. Because the appearance alone, yeah, it seemed a bit like Waver, but I was hoping he would mention something about conquering the world in relation to Shiro becoming a champion of justice. Some kind of reference to Iskandar, just to solidify it that it was Waver, but I'm guessing that was Waver, because otherwise, again, why would a random backdrop character just bump into Shiro and start wasting screen time having a conversation with him, right? So it has to have been someone important. I'm guessing it's Waver, because that's the only person it looks like. He looked like. Saber's resting place, Glastonbury. Shiro got to finally find out who his servant was the entire time on the final episode. I even said it, right? I think I even said it in a review or in a discussion somewhere that Saber didn't reveal anything to Shiro this entire route of Unlimited Blade Works. Shiro didn't know anything about his servant, and he's either going to find out pretty much at the end, or he's never going to find out at all. Well, he found out really at the end. Literally at the very end of the series. Finds out just who his servant was. And yeah, that was a really touching moment. I guess that brings some closure to Saber's sudden, abrupt disappearance in episode 24, which I wasn't, too satisfied with. It was just too quick, man. It left a real emptiness inside me, a void inside me, a hole in my heart. So yeah, that final farewell to Saber. Props to Ufotable for including that. And the final moment when Rin and Shiro were just shaking hands in their room, and the series came to an end. All things came to an end. All the closure that I wanted has been fulfilled. The series wrapped up everything so beautifully, and then it cut to the skyline. Oh, guys, my final review, my final score, my final opinions, my final thoughts on this series of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Let me tell you guys, this has been one of the best series I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, granted, like I said, I haven't seen a whole lot of series outside of Gundam. I mean, this is literally like coming up to, I don't know, maybe the 6th series outside of Gundam that I've watched in recent time. And not accounting shit that I've watched like a decade and a half ago. But yeah, Unlimited Blade Works, fantastic. Just about as good as Fate Zero. I probably prefer Fate Zero over Unlimited Blade Works, but Unlimited Blade Works had some super serious hype moments. The only thing that Unlimited Blade Works let me down on was just, the amount of slice of life in it. I know people have said that Unlimited Blade Works, it's supposed to be viewed as, the character setup, the world setup, the story setup, and it's kind of like the ascent up the slope of a roller coaster, and then Fate Zero is the continuous drop of the roller coaster. It's the adrenaline rush. That's where all the shit hits the fan right from the get-go, and there's just no brakes on that hype train. So watching it in reverse order, because it's still being debated as to which is the correct order to watch it in. I chose to go in chronological order and also in release order, just so that the visuals look updated, and also chronologically is just how I do things in life, not with just shows but with everything. Yeah, I can see why going down the roller coaster first and then going up the roller coaster after is kind of, anticlimactic. But still, Unlimited Blade Works had so many hype moments, but just the amount of slice of life in it kind of dragged it on a bit here and there, kind of made it a little bit, mundane and snooze fest here and there, but that's just a minor little detail. I'm just nitpicking. Overall, Unlimited Blade Works has been just absolutely fucking fantastic. So guys, my final thoughts, my final review to the series as a whole, I'm going to be rating the visuals, the animation, the soundtrack, the story, the whole shebang. The visuals, 11 out of 10, a billion out of 10, a kajillion out of 10, whatever you want to call it, just way past the point of 10 out of 10. This series has been absolutely phenomenal in terms of its art, absolutely eye-melting, brain-melting. It's just fucking sunshine and rainbows. It's just absolutely incredible. To think that Fate Zero was the best looking thing that I'd ever seen in my life, and I said to all of you guys, it couldn't possibly get any better than this, right? This is literally peak visual quality, but no, Ufotable proved me wrong by a landslide in the 3 to 4 years since Fate Zero moving on to Unlimited Blade Works. The visuals have had a massive overhaul, a massive upgrade, and it looks even cleaner, even more beautiful, absolutely freaking impossible, unbelievable, but Ufotable pulled it off. It looks freaking insane. So the visuals, just mind-blowing, jaw-dropping. Animation, again, just awesome. It's really good animation. I'm not gonna say it's the best animation in the world. So, guys, if you guys didn't notice, I definitely picked it up when I watched this series. I think the animation in Fate Zero was actually better than in Unlimited Blade Works. I think the thing is, in Unlimited Blade Works, it seemed like Ufotable are the masters of camera angles, the masters of 3D, the masters of just being able to move the camera in such a way that it creates very impactful, just hype fest, monumental scenes. But then if you take away all of those camera works, the actual frames of animation in fight scenes, it's not actually, all that, mind-blowing. It's not like One Punch Man Season 1's level of animation, because that is freaking insane. There's like a billion frames every single fight scene. You can see every last millimeter of movement of either the surroundings, the environment exploding, or the character's body moving. But in Unlimited Blade Works, man, you can see in fights clearly there are moments where it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of actual frames going into the fight. It's more like a still frame with just a shit ton of CGI and rotating camera angles just to add that impact, just to add that illusion of, you know, a super amazing animation when really it's just amazing 3D and camera work. So I'm not criticizing it, I'm just saying that's just a different way of just trying to, you know, make the fight scenes look awesome, as opposed to doing a gajillion frames of, you know, drawings to make the fight scenes look awesome. But if you can combine the two things together, a gajillion frames in a fight scene and that 3D and camera work, my brain can't even fathom such an experience. I think my mind's gonna fucking just rupture out of my fucking head, out of my skull, if I were to even try and imagine, try to dream of what the hell that experience would be like if Ufotable could put the two holy grails, no pun intended, two holy grails of insane fight scenes together. Insane camera work and 3D work with just a billion frames of drawings. That would be just the most insane action sequence I think I would ever be able to experience in my life. So yeah, animation, still very, very good. Soundtrack, freaking, I need to go download that soundtrack later on when I'm done with my work. That soundtrack was absolutely phenomenal. That fight scene with Shiro versus Gilgamesh, that soundtrack that was playing in the background, that was insane. Some of the soundtracks, like all of the, you know, the fucking emotional soundtracks, like the one that was playing at the very end of this episode when Shiro and Rin were shaking hands in their apartment, that one was also very emotional. There are just so many great pieces from Unlimited Blade Works that I need to go get my hands on. And yeah, EMIYA, the first opening as well, the Lisa's surprise ending at the end of season 1, the fucking insert song from EMIYA, Last Stardust. This fucking series songs are just 10 out of 10. They're all, if this was a fucking Rate My Anime opening mini-series of me reacting to all of these opening and endings from Unlimited Blade Works, if I'd never seen this show before, I would give all these fucking opening and endings 10 out of 10s. They're just absolutely freaking phenomenal. Even the Calafina ending from season 1, that one was also super good. I loved that one as well. All of the visuals that go along with the opening and endings were absolutely sick. As I've said a million times over, opening to EMIYA, Brave Shine, that song, and the entire visuals that went along with it, probably one of the best openings I've ever seen in my entire life, in all of my existence. Storyline, yeah, storyline's also great. I mean, to be honest, guys, it carried on from Fate Zero, sort of. I mean, it carried on from the boy Shiro. It wasn't so much focusing on the Holy Grail War itself or the Holy Grail itself, which was kind of what I was hoping for, because, you know, the Fate Zero ended on so many unanswered questions about the Holy Grail and what the hell was wrong with it and whatever. And yeah, this seemed like a more character-focused route, instead of the Holy Grail focused route, which everyone says is Heaven's Feel. If I want to find out everything there is to know about all the remaining unanswered secrets to the true nature of the Holy Grail, that's going to be in Heaven's Feel. So Heaven's Feel focuses on just answering all of the uncertainties from the end of Fate Zero about the Holy Grail. So really, maybe Heaven's Feel is more of a direct sequel to Fate Zero from just that, because that's how I saw the whole nature of Fate Zero. It was all about the Holy Grail War and all about the mysteries of the Holy Grail. So if they're going to continue on with that in Heaven's Feel, that seems more like a direct sequel to me. But Unlimited Blade Works focused heavily on just characters, specifically Shiro and Archer. So this was, and since Shiro was introduced literally at the end of Fate Zero, he wasn't really all that tied into Fate Zero. He was just sort of a thing that was thrown in at the very end, and then, you know, we move on to his full story here in Unlimited Blade Works. So it's almost like, you know, Unlimited Blade Works can be watched separately as its own separate enclosed story. I mean, obviously you're going to miss out all of the Fate Zero references and all of the extra connections that you could get to improve your enjoyment and experience of this series if you know everything about Fate Zero. But just as a standalone, it still works, right? You're still just following this story from beginning to end, nothing missing, the full encapsulated, enclosed post story of EMIYA Shiro. So yeah, it's not really all that directly connected to Fate Zero. It's not really considered a true successor, a true sequel to Fate Zero. That's going to be in Heaven's Feel, I guess, which I can't wait to get onto, guys. And yeah, just that's my thoughts on this series. It is just been absolutely phenomenal. I wouldn't say it's an absolute 10 out of 10 because there were certain points here and there that I could nitpick on. Like I've already mentioned, one, the slice of life stuff kind of dragged on a bit and it just wasn't as near perfection as Fate Zero was for me. So I would still give it a 9.5 out of 10 easily. Okay, it's easily a 9 out of 10 minimum. 9.5 out of 10 if I was feeling really generous. But yeah, that's still like what, an A+. Okay, that's still a fantastic score. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved every single moment, more or less, of Unlimited Blade Works. And to continue it on from Fate Zero, so far my Fate journey has been one of the best experiences of my life in terms of watching a show. It's been truly magical. I loved it. I've loved every moment of it. And yeah, that like I said, that final scene with Shiro and Rin shaking hands in their apartment and just wrapping up the entire series and bringing everything to a close and then panning off to that skyline and then that BGM cutting in when it was fading into nighttime and the stars came out and then it cut to the end credits, and even the end credits were all special and shiny and 3D and animated, and they even had a brand new BGM playing in the background, and then it cut to the after credits and then it said fin, end, the end, story's over. That's a wrap, guys. Truly a very, very tasteful, complete ending to what has been a fantastic series, an amazing journey. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, guys. Absolutely, a round of applause. So good. Yeah, that's it, guys. That is the end of my Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works reaction series. Can't believe we're here. Oh my god. So I'm guessing you're all wondering what comes next then, guys. Well, it's been a long time coming. I'm super fucking excited. Everyone's probably super freaking excited. But the next thing we're gonna be moving on to is Sakura's route. Heaven's Feel. My body is not ready. With the amount of hype everyone's been telling me about Heaven's Feel, what I'm about to experience, both visually, story-wise, animation, and just everything to do with getting the biggest mindfuck roller coaster ride of my life. I am not prepared. I am not ready, both mentally and physically and any other sensesly, about Heaven's Feel. I'm gonna go into this fucking series expecting every single last nerve receptor in my body to have cummed all over my fucking screen and keyboard and desk and everywhere else that I can possibly think of in my surrounding environment as I'm gonna go through that movie trilogy. I am totally not prepared for what I'm about to experience with this insane roller coaster ride that everyone's been hyping up to me about, which is the Heaven's Feel movie trilogy. To dive into Sakura's route, the girl that literally got axed off after like episode 8 or whatever, and we never saw from her again until the fucking epilogue of Unlimited Blade Works. I completely forgot about her. That's literally how masterfully Ufotable had concealed her after and just thrown her in the dumpster after episode like 8 or whatever, and we never got to see her again. I was so encapsulated with what was going on this series that I just completely forgot about Sakura. Sakura just, her existence was just completely obsolete, non-existent. Okay, by the time she just disappeared off screen, and I completely just forgot about her the next day. I honestly can't wait for that, guys. That is going to be one hell of an experience, and it's coming up real soon. Guys, that's it. Unlimited Blade Works is now the third and final series to have finished in this second cycle, this next 3 batch of series that I've been reacting to for the last, like, what, 2.5 months. So that's it. That's the end of this current batch of reaction series. That's the final episode to the final series of Cycle 2. You guys must be wondering what I'll be reacting to next for Cycle 3. Well, stay tuned, guys, because I'll be releasing an update video, a new reaction series reveal video, so to speak, very soon. I think it's going to be at the end of this week. So stay tuned, keep an eye out for that, and then you guys will all find out what I'll be reacting to in the third cycle, in the next cycle. Until then, it's going to be a complete mystery mystery. It's going to be a surprise. You guys are just going to have to sit around and wait until when that time comes, and then I'll reveal to you everything that you're going to experience in the next chapter of my journey here on YouTube. So that's it, guys. That's all of my thoughts for the final episode, episode 25 of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. It has been an absolute joy watching this series. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you guys have all enjoyed watching my reactions throughout this entire series. I hope I've entertained you guys thoroughly throughout this entire journey of mine. If you've liked it and you haven't done so already, leave a like down below, leave a comment. Let me know all your thoughts about this journey that I've been on, Unlimited Blade Works and Fate so far. Everything to do with Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero and whatever. Any thoughts you want to lay down on me about my experience so far with Fate and what to expect coming up going into Heaven's Feel, then just drop them all down below and I'll look at them when I have time. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so that you always be kept up to date with all the latest posts and uploads from me here on YouTube. Do the same thing for my other two YouTube channels. Links are given in the video description down below. Also, follow me on all of my social media network links, guys. All of the links are again right down there, especially my Discord link. It's given also in the pinned comment. Check it out. Join the server, join my family, hang out with me and all of the other sloths right there in my server right now, and just chat to me about anything that you want. Video games, anime, whatever, and I'll get back to you pretty much instantaneously in real time, compared to chatting with me with all of these delayed, long-winded essay length messages on YouTube that I can't be bothered to read, and also have to end up reading like half an hour after you've sent them because YouTube never updates properly in real time. And if you want to unlock my full uncut, unedited reactions to all of the animes that I've reacted to so far up until this point and will also be reacting to in the future, then you can sign up to my Patreon for as little as $1.99 to start unlocking those crystal clear, pristine, full videos that you'll not find anywhere else. You're just gonna have to settle for the highlight reels on YouTube that have been heavily censored and filtered. If that's not your thing, guys, then go check out my Patreon. And to all of my existing patrons right now supporting me, showing me that next level of backing and support for loving my work that much, thank you all so much for your continued kind, loving generosity. I very much appreciate it, guys. Continue being awesome. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's the end of Unlimited Blade Works for me. It has been absolutely incredible. I know I've said that now to death a billion times over in this recording, but hey, it's fact is fact. It has to be said. I have to drill it home. I have to just beat it all into your heads what I feel about Unlimited Blade Works. Absolutely amazing. So that's it, guys. That's the end of my Fate Stay Night reaction series. It's over. I hope you've all thoroughly enjoyed the ride alongside me. Thank you to all those who have stuck with me from the beginning to the very end. You guys are superstars. If you've even stuck to the very end of this video, you're an even bigger superstar. Thank you all so much for listening to all of these post-reaction discussions that I spend so much time and effort making for all of you dedicated hardcore fans of mine, not only to Fate but of the Too Lazy for Life community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you all next time, right? Very soon for Cycle 3 of the next brand new series that I'll be getting onto. You guys are not going to know what that is yet. Just be sure to keep an eye out for when that update video drops at the end of this week, probably in the weekend sometime. That will be the grand reveal as to what Cycle 3 is going to be all about, the next chapter of the Too Lazy for Life anime reaction journey. But until then, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's your boy, Too Lazy for Life. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.